move mountains. Teams that are built on trust can move mountains. And I would just say, arguably, inarguably, the supply chain community, we've got a little bit of trust building to do with consumers, based on some of the things they've seen in different parts of the world. But that's okay. We're going to do it. There's not a challenge. We've got this noble mission with the vaccine distribution that's right here on the precipice. We're going to tackle that, and we're going to tackle it and enable that to be accessed globally, so that every community can embrace the vaccine for what it can do beyond health reasons for the pure psyche. And then finally, one of the great things that in networking with Jenny and the SAPICS organization, some of the great folks that we have come to meet and learn from, it's been a great part of the journey. One of those individuals, Ramatu Abdul Kadir, and I'm hopefully, I know she spoke earlier, I think at the conference. I'm hoping she's here with us now. She made an appearance that was absolutely inspirational. There was so much there to dive into, and we got to have her back on. But one thing she said there, we have the power to reinvent ourselves and our business, which is critical for the times we find ourselves in. Completely agree. And amen, Ramatu. That's the good news. We do have that power. Supply chains are reinventing themselves today based on the consumers and those ever shifting preferences, what they want, what they demand. And that's the power of supply chain. So excellent points from Gary and Ramatu. I didn't break out my 25 pages of the goodness that Jenny has shared with us on a variety of podcasts and live streams, but I'm going to stop there. We love learning and hearing from all of you. I appreciate the opportunity to share a couple of things that really stick out from my neck of the woods. And again, we're so honored to be here. Big thanks to what Jenny and the team's doing. And, we owe, and we're working on a plan to better spotlight the successes and the challenges and the conversations that's going on amongst the supply chain community in Africa, and look for more action on that in 2021. So thanks, everybody. Gregory.
Thanks, Scott. First of all, Jenny, thanks for that amazing introduction. I don't know if we can live up to it, but I think Scott did. In any case, I think to echo what Scott has said, one of the things that we want to be aware of at Supply Chain Now is that we have a very US-centric view of the planet. And one of the things we're trying to do is to expand that view. And Jenny, you and your team have really helped us to have access and knowledge, connected us with Ramatu and Debbie and others who have given us a perspective of what's going on in Africa and how important that is. As a bit of research, I can tell you that I did my part. I watched Long Way Down, where Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman rode their motorcycles through Africa. All joking aside, the truth is that gives you a very clear perspective of just how difficult logistics and supply chain is in Africa, not for the obvious reason that even the world knows about, conflict minerals and things like that, but just the interaction and integration between countries. I actually saw between, I can't remember what two countries, there are no roads. So absolutely unfathomable for us to think about in the United States or North America or other parts of the developed world, but we're very empathic towards what's going on in Africa, what everyone is trying to do. Ramatu is a great example of that. And the story that she told of just trying to get from Nigeria to Kenya via Europe by aircraft, that was inspiring and eye-opening. And so what I'd like to talk about for starters is a little bit about what we're aware of and conscious of, and how I see some of the global trends in supply chain actually impacting Africa. One is environmental and social corporate governance, right? These are the initiatives that organizations have that impact human rights, that impact environmental sustainability and fair trade and all sorts of things that are meaningful. Obviously, in certain countries around the world, sustainability is not the top of the list. That is a initiative of the wealthy. Sustainability, survivability is the initiative of the more common environment. And so when I think of ESG, I think of fair trade. Um, you know, the coffee trade. I think of human rights, again, conflict minerals, and forced labor, which is our euphemism for slavery because we hate to say the word, but I think it needs to be said. And I think about what is changing in supply chain to bring change to those kind of issues, and that is that the consumer is aware of those issues, and they're putting pressure on the companies that they buy goods from, and those companies are putting pressure on their suppliers. It's very, very difficult, fortunately, today for a brand to abdicate responsibility for their suppliers in the supply chain. And the visibility that Scott talks about enables that to a great extent, because companies like Adidas and Nike and whomever else who have these issues in their supply chain, they now can be aware of and can do something about it. And they know that the consumer is watching. And that's an important part of change. So, one of the things we have to recognize if we want good things to happen in supply chain is that economics lead and good deeds follow. The economics of the supply chain will always lead how corporations and consumers act. And when we make it economically feasible to do good, or better yet, make it economically unfeasible to do evil, then that's when things really change. So we're keeping our eyes on that. I don't know what everybody on the continent knows, but I can tell you that consumers' eyes are on it, and you should be encouraged to see that some change should be continuing to come in that regard, and know that we intend to shine a bright light on it to facilitate that change. Um, to talk more about the supply chain in general, automation. Scott talked a little bit about that, but automation is huge. In developed countries in particular, labor is relatively inexpensive, and there's a trend towards making it more expensive. And so inevitably that will lead to automation, or it will lead to further offshoring. And as Scott said, people aren't moving away from China right now, but even labor in China is becoming expensive. So there may be some opportunities for other continents like Africa to get some of those more labor intensive jobs moving to their area of the world. But automation will, in developed nations, it will supplant workers in some cases. But in the other thing that we have to think about is that, at least in the States, in many of the countries that participated heavily in World War II, the baby boomers born, those people born after World War II, when all the soldiers came home, those people are leaving the workforce at a higher rate now in 2020 than they were before. And in 2019, they were leaving the workforce at a rate of 10,000 per day. And already this year, 3.6 million more baby boomers have retired than would have retired at the pace did retire at the pace in 2019. So automation is a necessity. It's not really supplanting that many jobs. It's augmenting jobs, and it is enabling the work that is being done by people whose jobs are largely undocumented, because they just have known how to do it, and their work started before technology was so prominent. So an absolute necessity, automation, and I think it's something not to fear, and something that the incoming generations to the workforce actually expect and engage with, and will be so much more productive because of. Just a couple quick touch points on some of the new technologies that are coming into supply chain. The Internet of Things, being able to detect that your Citroen 503 is about to break down because the water pump is out of tolerance, and it's that rattling you hear every time you turn a corner. AI and ML, the artificial intelligence that is impacting so much automation, that is bringing an incredible amount of benefit to the marketplace. And of course, blockchain, which is, as Scott was talking about, verifying our goat herders and that goods are in fact not conflict sourced and things like that. That is coming all the way down to manual labor and enabling a tremendous amount of accountability and speed and verification and provenance of products in the supply chain. So those are very, very important initiatives in supply chain themselves. One other thing towards some of the things, and I don't know what everyone has heard around the world, but early in this seismic societal disruption caused by COVID-19, we heard the supply chain will break, or the supply chain is breaking. And I can assure you as professionals that it has not broken, and it will not break, because this is just all this experience has been in 2020 is just the largest disruption of disruptions that we see all the time in supply chain. Supply chain professionals, they live their lives impacting and being impacted by disruptions. And this is a massive one, no doubt. It has caused a tremendous strain because, I mean, we have to put this into perspective. We essentially shut down the entirety of society and the workforce and all operations virtually overnight. In less than 14 days, the entire country went home and had to figure out how to work, survive, and communicate from there. So this has been a once in a lifetime experience, probably once in the history of the earth experience, and still supply chains have not broken. I think that bodes very well for you as professionals, for the supply chain as a practice, and this craft that we have, and the future of where supply chain is going. So big thanks to Jenny and Debbie and all of the teams here. Keep going, Africa, because what you're doing is an inspiration to all of us in, if you want to call it, the advanced world. We're learning from you, and we want to continue to learn from you, and we want to continue to lift you up. I'll leave you with this one thought. Remember this: there is abundance in the universe. Thanks to whoever you put your faith in, there is abundance in the universe. So thank you, Jenny, and thanks to everyone. And hey, let's have some fun now.
Yeah. No, but also I think I speak for everybody in that, you know, we all need a little bit of motivating, and we all need a little bit of outside recognition. Recognition makes us all grow stronger. It makes us all feel more powerful, I think. So thank you both for that. I think that was really, it was a great snippet, and I feel uplifted. So I hope that all the great proper supply chain professionals out there who do keep the world turning really do feel uplifted too.
Amen.
But as you said, let's have some fun. So we're gonna call on our supply chain quiz wizard, Mr. Ken Titmuss, who has more letters after his name than any of us put together, possibly. He is the king of supply chain international certifications. So he's going to share his screen and show us the Kahoot quizzes. And then we're Greg, Scott and I are going to have a bit of banter along the way and try and distract you from winning your $140,000 prize and be disappointed, but this is a wonderful prize. For those of you who want to know about risk and resilience management, and who don't we all need it, by golly. So look at all these people who are angling for the prize. If you've all downloaded your Kahoot and you've all put your names in, and are we ready to go? Yes. Scott and Greg, are you ready to go? Kenny, you ready to go?
We got 66 people, but I think there's 111 people with us on Zoom here. So a lot of people don't want to win that $140,000 prize. Was it $140,000?
Well, I'm putting my smart money on Sophia and Batman and Saji. So we'll see.
Okay.
I'm doing like we all did in. I'm doing like we all did in the States here recently, and I'm voting twice. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. And Greg, just to let you know, Greg, there's one baby boomer here that hasn't retired yet. So
good on you. Yeah.
All right. Just before we start, maybe some instructions as to how this might work if you've never played a Kahoots before. First of all, there are 20 questions, and some of them are general knowledge questions about Africa. Others are not questions about supply chain and procurement. There's a question, and then there's 4 answers. So you have to pick one of the answers, and on your second device, you will select the answer that you think is correct. You're going to have 30 seconds to answer the question. Okay, and the one that answers the quickest gets the most points. So there's 1,000 points per question. And if you take a long time answering it and still get it right, you're going to get less points than somebody answers it quickly. All right, so that's how it goes. And I would like to thank Jenny's husband, Clive, for the Africa question. So if you don't like the Africa one, you can talk to Jenny about that afterwards. Okay. All right, so we're going to start. And the first one is going to be an Africa question, just to get the ball rolling. So let's just see how we go with the first question. It's coming up now. Okay. Which country produces the world's most cocoa beans?
Greg, any guesses?
None at all, as a matter of fact.
I think I need to have a cocoa bean certification, Ken, to get this one right. You got one of those?
Well, no, I haven't actually. That's a good point. Maybe I should go for that one as well.
I can't even recall, even from watching Long Way Down, I can't even recall where the country was where they were talking about the coffee beans. I'm not certain.
So Ivory Coast is the biggest producer. 70% of the world's cocoa beans come from the West African countries. That's Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon. But Ivory Coast is by far the biggest producer. I think they produced something like 2 million tons in 2017. So we've got 23 people who got that right. So let's have a look who's on the podium at the moment, top of the list. Okay. Up and the next, and Merrill and HP. Is that a computer? Maybe?
Yes. Are they allowed to? Is a computer allowed to compete, Ken?
Well, that could also be a source,
because
I'm very fond of HP source. Horsepower, yeah, it could be Houses of Parliament source. Okay. All right, now the second question. Let's have a look, see what the second question is asking. This is a supply chain question. There are several factors that lead to the bullwhip effect. Which of the following is not one of them? So we're looking for the not here. So which one of those would you say does not affect the bullwhip?
I would say it's probably not. It's probably not the ASCA Nation quiz. I'm going. Is that a potential? That's the fifth potential answer.
Okay. So, the majority of people got that right. 31 of you, marketing quotas. Yes, for errors in your forecast, shortage gaming, promotions, price promotions, all affect and exacerbate that bullwhip effect. But marketing quotas wouldn't do that. So let's just see who's on the top of the list again. Oh, we lost our leader there.
Is that Angie 1 or is that Angeal? I can't tell.
Angie 1. I did the commentator's curse on Abnav. I want to see Tonya Lamb. I want to see your name up on the top 5 of the scoreboard.
So we have Angie 1, Merrill, and G-Dub, Tim, and Ravine. Excellent.
Okay.
Tight competition.
Question 3. Procurement. Which of the following is a potential advantage of standardization of procured items? Which of the following is a potential advantage of standardization?
Feels like all of them, Ken.
All of them, you think? Yeah, maybe one answer's better than the others.
Yeah, maybe one's a feature of it, not so much an advantage of it.
This will be interesting.
So which one of the following is potential advantage? So the correct answer was lower costs. So if we're trying to standardize on procured items, ultimately, I think we would get a lower cost.
But Scott, look how well your SKU rationalization discussion stuck. People picked variety reduction, right?
Including me.
Yeah.
So these are
okay. So let's see
questions.
If Angie 1's still on top. No, G-Dub's gone to the top.
G-Dub. Hey, G-Dub, if you're in comments
with Merrill hanging in there.
Hey, for our top 5 here, if you're on the comments, I'd love for y'all to list where you are. G-Dub, Merrill, Ravine, Tim, and Sabo. I'd love to get a sense of where y'all are across the globe there.
Wait, there's comments, so you can smack talk in this thing?
Yeah.
Does smack talk mean the same thing in South Africa, Jenny?
I've never heard of it before.
I don't think you can.
Oh.
So,
all right, next question.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's an African question again. So this is a pretty easy one, I think. In which country is Mount Kilimanjaro?
This will be really interesting.
Yes. My geography stinks. Looks like Johannesburg. Is that Krugersdorp? Shirley
yeah,
Krugersdorp. And Haruna is from Nigeria. The rest of our leaders are Johannesburg. Excellent.
Hey, South Africa.
All right. Well, let's see if people know their geography. Oh, most people do. Okay, it's in Tanzania. A lot of people think it's in Kenya. Well, it's actually very close to Kenya, but not quite there. It is, of course, a dormant volcano, and its height is 5,895 meters, measured in a British survey in 1952.
Well, Ken, let's not challenge it before we get out of 2020. Let's keep it dormant.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's also 3 million years old, so we can wish it happy birthday, I think. And it's one of the 4th most topographical prominent peaks on Earth that you can see. So
nice.
Yeah,
wow,
it's the highest peak in Africa, of course, as well. All right, so let's see who's on top. Did G-Dub? No, G-Dub got that wrong. Merrill's come to the top.
Excellent.
Tim and Ayanda, and our Hewlett Packard is 4th.
Yes, the Hewlett Packard seems to be staying stable.
Hey, where's our sponsorship, Debbie?
There we go.
That's right. That's right.
The machines are learning.
We should say horsepower.
All right, let's get the next question. Which of the following groups should be responsible for demand planning? Marketing, production, sales, logistics. So who should be responsible for demand planning?
Wow, should be.
Yeah, not always, but
I bet this is a kind of a trick question there, Ken. I like it.
Yeah, don't answer who in your company who's responsible, who should be responsible.
Is this at a manufacturer?
Well, anyway, really, I guess we're talking manufacturing because we've got production in there as well. So, only 16 of you got that right. Marketing really should be responsible for the demand side of the business. I see a lot of people maybe put sales, but I think marketing is generally regarded the person that should, or the department that should be responsible for demand planning.
It's so hard to say marketing and responsible in the same sentence.
Yes.
Ken, that's
Ken, I think we should have a whole trivia quiz based on that should be. And
okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
You watch out, Amanda will be seeing you later, Greg.
So, Merrill stays on top. Well done, Merrill.
Lead
but only just.
Are you Merrill, Ken?
No. But you're only 60 points ahead there, Merrill. Only 60 points ahead. So you haven't got a great lead. Right. So next question, number 6. Which of the following includes the product cost plus the cost of warehousing, transportation, and handling fees? Standard cost, acquisition cost, landed cost, roll-up cost. So which one includes costs of warehousing, transportation, and handling?
Excellent question.
Look at the answers fly in, though. I just noticed that you can watch the answer counts go up. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Still trying to understand the question.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, landed cost is correct, and most of you got that right.
Way to go, pros. That's overwhelming.
So landed cost is the cost of getting something into your warehouse, which would include transportation and handling fees and import fees or whatever it might be.
Bribes.
Well. Great. Oh, I forgot bribes. You're quite
Darn
right.
it.
So is Meryl? Meryl's still on top.
Meryl.
Oh, but she's only 50 points ahead now.
Oh, yeah.
And my age is still there.
Yeah. Horsepower.
Okay.
Coming up fast.
Right. I think the next one's an African question, isn't it? In which country does the Zambezi River rise? Where does the Zambezi River start?
Oh gosh.
Trick
I'm gonna
question.
fail this one.
Trick question.
Where does it start?
Yeah, where does the Zambezi River start?
Jim Leahy is with us. Jim, happy Thanksgiving. I just recognize you on the screen. You're gonna be held to a higher standard, by the way.
Can I use the internet to answer this question?
No Googling, Mr. Leahy.
You know, by the time you do, you lose so many points that
It's not worth it.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So 39 of you got that right. Well, it was a pretty easy question, really. The Zambezi River starts in Zambia, doesn't it?
I hate it when people say that and I get it wrong. Pretty easy.
Exactly.
Said, Zimbabwe. Okay, it begins with a Z, so they were pretty close, I guess.
Right.
So, see who's on the
Begins
podium.
at Worlds of Fun in Kansas City.
Oh, Meryl.
New leader.
Ooh. That look, that had to do with the amount of time it took to answer. If you look at the gap that was closed there.
Right.
I am pretty sure that HP is not a car, it's a computer. Look at how fast it's answering.
It's probably got Google on it as well.
Yeah, right.
It's Abinoff.
All right. So next question: in what type of forecasting, quantitative forecasting, would past sales data be used? So, in what type of quantitative forecasting would you use past sales data? And some of those are not quantitative forecasting techniques. They are qualitative forecasting techniques.
I just realized that y'all's supply chain trivia quiz is far harder than what we had ever put in place.
Isn't that because of all the letters that Ken has behind his name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, maybe. I didn't generate all the questions though. Okay, so most of you, well, great if you got that right. Intrinsic. So intrinsic, we just use our sales history. Extrinsic, we will be using our sales history plus some external data. Delphian causal forecasting are qualitative type techniques. So let's see who's on top still. Whoa!
Whoa. The bot is winning.
Yeah, and Meryl's there. Is that Kia? Is that our Kia at third place there, would you say?
It was probably the last supply chain brain, is it?
That's correct. That's me.
It's the reigning supply chain brain.
Oh,
okay. All right, super. Right, let's see what the next question is. Number 9. What 3 pieces of information should agree before payment is made on a supplier's invoice? So what 3 pieces of information should agree before you pay your supplier?
So it's tough to be a cheerleader and answer these questions at the same time and not have my adult beverage here. I'm envious, Jenny.
Yeah, it's too early for us. Well, I mean,
That's true.
5 o'clock somewhere, but
Oh, well, most of you got that one right. The purchase order, the receiving report, which goods received note or goods received voucher, and the invoice, all the numbers must match before we pay our supplier. Okay.
There's too many words in that one.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll praise it next time.
yeah.
Right.
No,
Is
you
HP
gotta
on
dumb it
top?
down.
HP stayed there. Really?
I'm more and more
Okay.
convinced that HP is a bot.
Meryl. But the lead is just under 300 points. So Meryl is sticking with
On the
HP.
comeback trail, yep.
Yeah, and as we've seen with these things, it can come down to that final question.
Down to the wire.
Right.
One question or one
almost
delay
halfway
in
through.
clicking the button. Yes.
Okay, now the next question is an Africa question, and it's one I didn't get right, one I didn't know, because it goes back to the First World War. So have we got anybody online who was here in 1915? Probably not. But this comes from Clive, and I think he goes back to 1915. I don't know.
You're so cheeky.
Cold.
In which river was the German battleship SS Königsberg destroyed in 1915?
Wow.
Wow.
You know your history.
I'm a history guy, but that gets me.
Does it? Got me as well. I didn't get this one right. At least I didn't know the answer.
There are now 2 rivers I know in Africa, and I'm gonna go with the one I do know that's on out of these 4 questions. So we'll see.
Well, at least one of them was there,
Yes, right,
because there's quite a lot of rivers in Africa.
right, and it seems like the Orange River.
I'm surprised. Yeah, 22 people got it right. The Fiji River. Yeah.
Where's the Rafiji River, Ken?
It comes out in Tanzania. It's in Tanzania, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it was sunk by, well, it was surprised and sunk by the British battleship or cruiser, shall I say, HMS Pegasus in the Battle of Zanzibar. Okay, and it retreated into the river for repairs, but before it could be repaired, it was badly damaged again. And in fact, it was actually scuttled by the crew in the end, the remainder of the crew. Yeah.
Now, is there going to be a Kahoot quiz on the Kahoot quiz, Ken?
Yeah.
Could be.
I think it's a good idea.
Right. Next one. Oh, well, let's see who's on top.
On fire.
Yeah, well, HP has been usurped there. All right, next question. Number 11.
There's still
Acronym
time.
DFL stands for which of the following? What does DFL stand for?
Because we love our acronyms.
Yeah.
Yes,
We could have a
certainly
whole
do.
quiz just on acronyms, couldn't we?
We actually
Absolutely.
should. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we can do one day. And the acronym quiz. ASCA acronym
We could just
quiz.
do the ones after your name, Ken, and do a whole
Could be a whole session.
a whole quiz on Ken's acronym.
Oh, well, most of you got that right. Well, 37 did. Design for logistics. A lot of people said design for lean. Okay. But no, the correct term is design for logistics. Now, who's on top? Kia still? No.
Meryl.
ahead.
Meryl's come back. Meryl has come back.
By over 4 points, too.
Yeah.
We're doing a standard deviation at the end of the quiz on the responses, Ken.
I don't know. Number 12. Which of the following steps completes the purchasing cycle? So when's this purchasing cycle complete?
Filing the purchase order. Does that mean physically filing the purchase order?
I
think it's receiving and accepting goods.
Putting it in the filing cabinet.
Yep.
By the way, I don't necessarily agree with this answer, but we can talk about that. Oh, I see, 20. Yeah, approving the supplier's invoice for payment. I usually tell my students that the purchase order is not complete until the supplier has actually been paid. It's all very well approving the supplier invoice, but does your finance department, accounts department, do they actually pay the bill on time? So I think it's very important to pay the bill on time. So I usually tell people that the purchase order is not complete until the supplier has been paid.
Yeah, I guess it depends on which side of that payment you're on, right? Well, we've approved it for payment. You're on your own to collect it.
I'm usually on the side of collecting the payment.
Yeah, that's right.
Guys?
Yep.
Is it time to quit when the screen stops saying, sure, you can do this?
Sorry, do what?
Is it time to quit when the screen asks you,
No,
sure you
that's-
can do this? This is
that's
when
an
you need to find
encouragement.
that extra gear. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an encouragement, not a question.
All right, Kia's back on top with HP second. Meryl's third.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so the
Excellent.
battle is heating up here. The battle is heating up.
Oh, and the
So
lead shrunk.
what is the next question? 13. Which country produces 60% of the world's cobalt? 60% of the world's cobalt is
Yeah.
produced in.
I know that one.
You
It's
know
really
that one.
interesting. Yeah, I was reading actually a supply chain thing about it, what cobalt is used for and how vital it is.
It is
Well,
very
now-
vital. Yeah.
What is it used for?
Yeah,
I
what
can't
is
remember.
cobalt?
Oh,
Steel.
It's very important though.
I get cobalt and cobalt confused all the time.
wow, really?
Cobalt's a language.
It's used in
Right.
batteries,
Right.
Jenny.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
I
It
knew
was
it was
used in
very
what?
important.
Well,
used
most
in
of
what?
you know that
Yeah, well done, Ravine.
the Congo is the world's largest producer. In fact, the ones behind Russia, Cuba, Australia, Philippines, Canada all produce between 4,000 and 6,000 tons per year. The Congo produces 90,000 tons, 15 times
imagine?
more than any other country in the world. So
That
it's
supply
very
chain
important.
challenge, huh?
Yeah, it's a very important
From the DRC.
mineral. Yeah,
Excellent. Great question.
good. Now let's see who's on top still. Kia stays on top.
Whoa.
Oh, the lead shrinks though.
Yeah.
It's inside of 100
HP.
points.
Yeah, and Meryl and HP is still there. Good. Right. Next question. Let's have a see. 14. In the demand-driven MLP methodology, what is the component? Now, if you came to my presentation and Carol's this afternoon, you would know the answer to this one. What is the third component of the DDMLP methodology?
I can't believe we've got to question 14 to wait for a DDMRP question, Ken.
Well, I stuck it in at the last minute. I thought I'd better put one in.
Yeah, I'd have been disappointed if you hadn't.
We would too. We would too.
Right. So how are we doing? Oh,
Ken,
you see,
lots of work to be
people
done.
do not listen when I talk to them. Look, only 11 people got it right. The third component is dynamic adjustment. Remember, guys, it's strategic inventory positioning, buffer levels and profiles, then dynamic adjustment, then planning, and then execution. So you need to come on the course. All right, but let's see who stays
Ken,
on
I love
top.
it. We're gonna have to do a trivia quiz swap and have you come do our next one. There's an air
Okay.
of royalty
Authority.
with your with your approach. I love it.
Kia is listening clearly, Ken. So
I know. 700 points ahead now. Look at that. 700 points ahead. It's going to be difficult to catch up, Meryl, HP. Right. Next question. Which of the following is a critical factor in the supplier selection process? So, supplier selection, a critical factor. I think this one's
All
fair.
right.
Yeah.
We're this is question 15, right? So we have 5 more to go.
yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Lots of movement can still take place with 5 to go.
Have you guys ever thought about commenting on sport? Because I think you do it quite well.
Many people would prefer that we do that as opposed to supply chain.
And many people also wish we'd keep our comments to ourselves too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
you-
most people who are listening in that talk, supplier manufacturing capability would be a supplier selection, an important supplier or critical factor when selecting suppliers.
I got lucky.
You got
Yes.
lucky, did you? All right, let's see if Kia is still on the top podium. Yes.
yes.
Wow.
Meryl's dropped slightly, and
Yep.
HP is still in there. Okay.
Abba
Right. The
Nab.
next one is an Africa question. Now, we all know where this place is, or we've all heard of this place, but do we know which country it is in?
Uh-oh.
Which country is Timbuktu?
You know, Greg, I wonder if that AKG is our friend Allison. I wonder.
Scott, are you trying to distract me while I'm
Yes.
trying to answer the question? Is that what it is? Are you
I'm
trying,
trying
to
at
delay
least
my
beat you,
answer?
Greg. I'm trying to beat at least you.
I've already tanked here, so it doesn't much matter.
Let's see.
Is there a prize for last place?
AKG is not Allison.
Well,
thank you.
Most
no,
people
there's
got
no
that
prize for
right.
last place, but we thought there
So-
should be.
So Mali is the correct answer, and most of you got that correct. And I think this is an important supply chain question, really, because Timbuktu historically is an important trading post going back to the 1600s for the supply chains that went across the Sahara. So I think it's a very important supply chain question. It's situated about 13 kilometers north of the Niger River. And the Sankore University is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Good. All right. So, did Kia stay on top?
Hey,
Yep. Look at that.
Increases the lead.
Yeah. Well done. So, let's have a look at the next question. We're on 17, nearly there. Production strategy that has the same output monthly is called a production strategy that has the same output monthly.
Yeah.
Jenny, which one?
Insanity?
Yeah. Kind of, I don't want to give the game away.
Insane strategy? Is
That sounds good. That sounds good. Drunk strategy.
Yes. All that's been employed a lot here in 2020, I believe.
I think this is an easy one, and yeah, most of you got that right. It's called a level strategy. Chase strategy is where we chase demand with production. Hybrid could be somewhere in between level and chase. And I've never heard of a random strategy.
Oh, I'm sure it's there. I'm sure I use that a lot.
I feel like I may not have heard of the term, but I feel like I've experienced the result of it from time to time.
Oh, the random strategy.
That's probably because I did it.
Let's make this amount.
Right. Whoa, sorry, I jumped there. Which of the following factors comprise the cost of goods sold? I hit the button twice, so I can't tell you what was on
Did
top.
we skip one?
And I can't go back.
Oh no, it's tense now because we're on question 18. The pressure.
Yep.
Ooh, the pressure.
So which of the following factors comprise the cost of goods sold, or COGS, we sometimes call them, don't we? COGS.
Jenny, we got a question from Susan. What's the prize for second runner-up? Am I okay to tell her it's about a $7,000 prize?
Yeah, I think so. That should do well. If you just say it's just our love, does that work?
Yeah. Not many of you got that right, eh? It's direct labor, direct materials, and factory overheads. Okay, well, let me try not to hit the button twice this time and see who's on top. Kia is, wow, look, 2,000
He is
points
running
ahead.
away with it now. 1,500 points ahead.
Nice, Kia. Nice.
She's got that little adrenaline frisson going on, and she's thinking, I can do it, I can do it.
I wonder if she had anything to do with Ken hitting the button twice, because statistically that puts her outside the reach of anyone.
Good point,
You think
Greg.
so? Yeah,
Now, that is
well.
some in-depth analysis. Jenny, will Kia have to come on and do an acceptance speech?
I think she's going to have to, because she's
going to have a lot to
she's the
explain
reigning
here.
one already, and
she could technically just do the acceptance speech. No, she has to answer. She has to answer something.
Yeah.
No, she has to answer, otherwise she bombs out. And then
I think HP has got a legal challenge here. They're going to the court for a recount. That seems to be the thing we do these days.
Can bots go to the court? I don't know.
Okay, now the next question is an Africa question, and if you remember, an earlier one was where does the Zambezi River rise? But this question says, well, where does the Zambezi flow into the ocean? In which country?
Interesting. So one of the people on here, who shall remain nameless, is apparently clicking on the actual main screen instead of on their phone.
Oh,
That's her excuse as to why she's not doing very well.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, you mean on
this main bit on Ken's screen.
No, you've got to be logged in
Zoom.
Yeah,
in Zoom.
No, that doesn't work. No. Ah, most of you got that right. Mozambique. Yes, it flows out through Mozambique. Interesting river, the Zambezi, because it. Where's my notes here? It's 2,700 kilometers long, and it's ranked as the 4th largest river in Africa. It's followed by the Nile, and then you've got the Congo or Zaire River and the Niger River. En route, it flows through 6 countries, in fact: Zambia, Angola, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. And it spends most of its time in Zambia and the least in Botswana. And interestingly, the river forms the border between Zambia and Namibia, and Zambia and Botswana, and Zambia and Zimbabwe.
Wow.
So it's a pretty important stretch of river.
That is
and
a
of
lot.
Course,
that's
it has,
a lot of borders.
It has the best waterfall in the world. The Victoria Falls, of course, which is much.
Just want to say before we go to the next bit, Ramati is in the house, and Elme, I'm really chuffed that Kahoot still believes in you. That's really cool.
Someone has to. Someone has to.
Okay, so let's see if Kia's still on the top of the pile. Yes, absolutely, with HP second. Okay, next question. Last question. The demand for automobile tires would be classed as. The demand for automobile tires will be classed as independent, dependent, both forecasted demand.
A grudge send.
Automobile tires.
We actually spoke about this in the CSCP class last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nobody loves a bragger.
Now, are tires TYRES? Are they different than tires TIRES?
That's the properly spelled tire.
Yeah, this is how it should be spelled.
We've spelled it correctly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Your tires are kind of tired.
It's not the corrupted language.
Yeah. No.
Thank you, Jim.
So it's both independent and dependent, because it's dependent because we put them on the vehicle, but they're also independent as we sell them as spare parts as well. So it is both independent and dependent. So
Nice.
That was the last question. And it looks like on the podium, 3rd place.
Abhinav.
Well done, Abhinav.
Stayed at
Well
the top
done.
the whole time.
HP second, and on top is our champion Kia.
Yeah.
Well done.
Betty and everything. How cool is that?
Then we had some runners up to there, Victor and Bernie. All right.
I think Kia needs to show herself.
Yeah.
Let me get her myself. Let me get her myself.
Let me stop sharing.
Good job, Kia.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
That was awesome.
Yeah, now she's the double reigning brain. Now she's the competition. This is serious now because she's now won twice.
I think.
I think somebody's going to think she's cheating. I think.
Never.
If anyone has anything
I
that
actually
they need,
thought that-
just send a note.
I actually thought that was your live
does a
picture.
very good job.
Yeah, well done, Kia. My invoice
so
is in
much,
the
guys.
post.
Now remember, the cycle is not complete until he actually gets paid, Kia. So
That's true.
don't feel compelled to complete
Money in
the
your
cycle.
account, Ken.
Yeah, when the money's in my account, I'll tell Jenny to send you the prize.
Now, Kia, you've got to agree, and we'll send a contract your way. You've got to agree to defend your crown before the end of the year, right? So
Right.
Before the end of the year. Wow.
Yeah, for the end of the year, we'll have to set up a end of the year 2020 Slugfest trivia contest, and where
All right.
Kia will have to defend her crown.
Awesome. Let's
So
do
I
this.
just saw Amanda's face when you mentioned that, Greg. She's kind of looking, rolling her eyes ever so slightly and thinking, where are we going to fit this into the calendar?
Right.
Well, if we've got the SAPICS organization and the excellent MC that Ken Titmuss is, Greg, I've got a new nomination for the Jeopardy new Jeopardy host. as they've been sourcing new candidates, we got to put Ken's hat in the ring.
Yeah, I see you've recently lost the one there.
Yeah. Have we really been sourcing it? I really thought they would, without Alex Trebek, I really thought they would just fold the whole thing. So
I can't remember the gentleman's name. Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton has surfaced as a new host to be, perhaps, but we'll see. Tremendous loss, but trivia is certainly universal. And Jenny, I appreciate your tip of the hat on the front end, but this is really fun to do, and a great application to the world supply chain, which of course we're all passionate about, and we can gamify and learn from all of you here. So Ken and Smart Procurement World mentioned, was it Commerce Edge that came up with some of the questions too?
Yes, there was,
extremely well done. Yeah,
the purchasing ones came from Commerce Edge.
It's a good team effort, you see. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I love it. Y'all did a great job.
There it is.
Honored to be here this morning. That's what we can't end a live stream without Jenny and the teamwork quote for sure.
Right.
I adapted it slightly in case you're getting bored of it. Thank you all lots and lots. Ken, thanks for your efforts always. This year's been great fun with your contribution. Debbie, do you wanna step in here?
Yeah.
I just see your WhatsApp. Yes, you are.
Couldn't remember if I was closing or not, so I didn't want to jump in. But Scott and Greg and also Ken, thank you so much. Number one, Ken, for putting it together and the questions. I definitely think I will be starting my supply chain qualification in January, because I'm really bad, but it was so great to have everyone here, and even after a long day of conferencing, but I think it was a really fun way to end. And Scott and Greg, you just made it a lot of fun, and we do hope we can do the ultimate one into next year. I think we can look to beat that attendance of maybe 200 or 300, and then really the competition's on. I'm dying to see who the ones were below. I just knew that my place was not even worth mentioning, so thank you. Appreciate it, and we hope it wasn't too early in the morning for you. I think we all still need a coffee, and to all those that took the time to come and join us, and those joining Smart Procurement World tomorrow as second day, those who did 2 days at SAPICS, I've heard only amazing things. So I think no one can say that we didn't make some history this week in supply chain and procurement. And Scott and Greg, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Debbie and Jenny and Ken and everyone who contributed to this. Really appreciate the invite. Glad we got to share some of our viewpoint and got to see some of the incredible talent and knowledge that you have here. It's a pleasure and an honor to be invited.
And formally part of the family now. So there you go.
Absolutely. And please, everyone, if you have to take the time. I think it's on a Thursday. Where you've got different sessions, but they do it early evening, which is great for us. And they do it. Their discussions and their topics are worth every moment, and as entertaining as what we've enjoyed this afternoon. So,
if I could add one more thing. So here in the States, of course, it's Thanksgiving week, and we although we should remind ourselves how grateful we should be throughout the year. It's really a week we set aside to really, think about things that we should appreciate and be thankful for. And in 2020, despite the prevalence of Zoom and digital conversations and remote and lockdown and all that, it's still a relationship driven world. And, this experience here today just reminds me of that. And we're so really grateful on behalf of Amanda and Greg and the whole Supply Chain Now team of all the wonderful relationships that drive not just the supply chain world, but the business world. And Jenny, you and what the SAPICS organization do in the Smart Procurement World, y'all help facilitate that, and you help those relationships grow and blossom, and we can't have enough of that. So tip of the hat to both of those organizations. We look forward to doing our part of spotlighting a lot of the outstanding leadership that's in this neck of the world and in this community in 2021. Thanks so much for letting us be a part.
Yeah,
thank you. The reality of it is that I just like to surround myself by really clever people, because then it deflects. But seriously though, thank you all very much, and thanks everybody for being part of it. And I just posted a thing in the chat saying happy Thanksgiving to everybody, even if we don't celebrate it. We've got lots to be grateful for, and as a community, we're grateful for all of you. So on that note, I think we can let Greg and Scott go and do some work. They've had far too much fun on a what day of the week is it today? Tuesday. On a Tuesday morning. Yeah, working Tuesday. And I'm going to go and have a glass of wine. I'd love to buy you all one. I'll take a rain check.
Actually, Kia's buying.
I'll buy. I don't mind.
Thanks,
Congratulations,
Ken. Thanks, Debbie.
Kia,
Congrats,
again.
Debbie.
Thank you so much,
Well
guys.
done.
Thank
Congrats,
you.
Kia. Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Take care. Bye. Thanks, guys. Bye.
What?